This is We All Be, news-free Dixie for the 21st century. See how it works? Somewhere. Can you dig it?
Okay, let's talk about Stephen Twitch Boss. Let's talk about that, brother. Unfortunate demise of him. A lot of y'all have raised questions about what happened to Stephen Twitch Boss. I wasn't familiar with the brother until he passed away. It goes back to what Biggie said: "You're nobody till somebody kills you. You're nobody till somebody kills you." So let's talk about Stephen. And this is my take on this. And it's just my opinion. That's it. And we all got opinions. But black mental health matters, man. You don't know what really anybody going through. Like, I made it a best practice to try to be as kind and as compassionate as I can with dealing with other people, because you never know how deep off people are in terms of, in a dark, dark place where they feel like there's no hope. Just don't know what people. I know a couple people, family members and friends who have committed suicide. And I know my great uncle, Willie James Taylor Jr., I guess, he committed suicide. That was interesting because I went to his last doctor appointment because I remember seeing him for Mother's Day of 2011. We was over my aunt's house, and he was all jovial, laughing loud, gregariously. He was like one of them dudes that was like a life of the party. He was a tall string being of a man, real tall. Had a beautiful personality in terms of, like, he loved to crack jokes. He loved a good laugh. He sung in his choir. He loved to travel. Loved spending time with friends and family. And I remember Mother's Day 2011 where he was like laughing. Took home an extra sweet potato pie that my aunt made, I believe. They loved to cook for my uncle Willie James. Then, like, the next month, I saw him at his doctor's appointment. He was like a shell of his former self. He was withdrawn, like he shrunk or something like that. He was sitting in a wheelchair. And like I said, he loved mobility. He loved to travel, move around, had energy and stuff like that. And the doctor prognosis was that he had a rare form of cancer, and that within a year's time, he'll need 24-hour nurse care. And this was devastating for my uncle to hear. Like, you can tell, like, he saw death in the room. He's like, he saw a ghost and saw death in the room. And this is my maternal grandfather's younger brother. And so we followed him, took him home, and I know he was saying on that Friday, he said, Ron, you gonna come visit me this weekend? I said, I don't know, Uncle, I might. He said, are you gonna come visit me? Are you gonna come and see me? I said, I'll try to see what I could do. And I said my goodbyes. And then that Monday morning, my mom got a call saying that my Uncle Willie James was found dead, that he killed himself. That allegedly he shot himself in his bed. And I remember going over there, and we had a cousin that lived over there, older cousin. He was strange to me. He was a strange bird because the older cousin would have, like, sometimes we'll go there for Christmas or Thanksgiving. This dude never came out to talk to anybody while we was over there for Thanksgiving or Christmas. He'll be in his dark room with the TV on, the small TV on. Only thing on, the only light in the room is coming from the TV, and everything's dark. So now I go in the room, I couldn't see nobody in the room. I didn't know nobody was in the room. But that day, he made sure that everybody saw his, his assets. He was like, oh man, he was talking. He was all animated and stuff. He's like, he let people know, I didn't do this. I didn't kill Unc. I didn't do this to Unc. He Leslie shot himself in the bed and bled out overnight, and then found him in the morning unresponsive. And he left a suicide note, but I couldn't. It was like chicken scratch. I said, wait, was he writing? I wish he would just recorded himself singing. He was a good singer. I wish he just recorded a song or something about why he took himself out the equation instead of trying to write a note that nobody could decipher. Because the police, they took the note and then they gave it back to us. We couldn't read that stuff. But it was weird because it was a dog that came down the street to the house. And it was a big dog, but it wasn't menacing or nothing like that. It wasn't like it was rabid or anything, but the police was afraid of it. They about to shoot the dog. And we said, no, no, don't shoot the dog. The dog was like, it was there. I don't know what that was about. 'Cause I know when my uncle, my mom's brother, was dying from AIDS and stuff like that, he used to, still ride the bus and stuff. So he'll walk from the bus stop to his house. And it'll be, was it a dog that followed him? I believe it was a dog that followed him home. Then it stopped coming around when he passed on. Either a dog or a cat. It is weird. Anyway, it's been like almost 20 years. But my uncle Willie James, the dog came out and it tried. I guess I don't know if that was him trying to send us a sign from the other side or not like that. But yeah, he killed himself. But it was understandable, I would say, because this man was going to be a vegetable, a shell of his former self within a year time, and he wasn't used to being a person that needed to depend on somebody. He was very independent. And there was a drastic change for him, and he did what he had to do. Then a friend of mine, her brother killed himself, and that was unfortunate. He was a young man, and I don't know if you could ever come back from somebody take their life. You know what I'm saying? Like a close loved one take their life, because a lot of times you end up blaming yourself. Like, why couldn't I see the signs, and could I have done something different? Could I be more attentive? A lot of times people don't want to let you know that they're about to take their own life, because it's one thing that they're resolute on, especially men. Men are more successful at offering themselves than women are. And I remember I talked to this older woman, and she was telling me about her niece. I guess it's true. I mean, she's a part-time actress, and she also worked in the mental health care profession. But her niece legend went to a prom with a guy, and the next day he threw himself out the Empire State Building, supposedly. And the aunt, she was trying to tell her niece, look, that's not your fault. When a person comes to that point where they do something like that, they already made it up in their mind to do that. It has nothing to do with you. But sometimes we make those things about ourselves, because suicide is such a selfish act, because you hurting people when you take yourself out like that. It's like it'd be better off, like people could be more understanding if you were to die in a car accident, or to die from like a illness like cancer. But to actually like kill, to take yourself out like that without hiding it, without covering up, and say a car accident or something like that, that really bothers people, because it hurts people that you can never recover from the hurt, because it's just something about somebody doing that, because it hurts the family. It hurts those that loved you, that thought the world of you. They probably would say, you know what, we could have helped you if you just let us know that you were suffering like that. But a lot of people suffer in silence. So with the Twitch thing, it's interesting because he had a lot going for himself. Like, he had a lot of things going on in his life, especially like future projects coming up the next year. You look at his Instagram, he just celebrated him and his wife's anniversary. He celebrated his grandfather's birthday. He was very jovial and stuff like that. Great smile, great energy, a lot of positive stuff he was putting out in the universe. But you just don't know what nobody's going through. No, I said I wasn't aware of him because I didn't follow the Ellen DeGeneres like talk show stuff. I used to love watching Ellen when she had a sitcom back in the 90s before she came out and all this other stuff. I loved that sitcom growing up. But no, once she, came out for the agenda, whatever she was doing, it was different. Not, and I don't know. Anyway, but the Twitch guy, it's like a lot of people love this guy. I had cousins that worked out. They started working out in the pandemic because of his workout dance videos and stuff like that. They said Columbus Short, one of his close friends, allegedly put out a live or something like that. It's talking about he took himself out because he lost so much money in an FTX scandal. You know what I'm talking about, with the dude lost people billions of dollars. That guy they just arrested down in the Bahamas, the Freeman Bankman, whatever the guy name is. That he lost he invested a lot of money in that. So he allegedly lost his life savings. So I haven't seen the Columbus Short thing, but there were people said that he was saying. I don't know. A lot of people say they can't accept this as the actual cause of death. And like my friend Mr. Emerson Abel Jr. used to tell me, my Jegna, that nobody dies a natural death in show business. So that definitely ain't natural to take yourself out the equation. But it says his wife reported him missing the next day or something like that. And normally he'd take his car. It's unusual for him not to take his car. And he walked to a motel or hotel that was 15 minutes away from his house, and they found him in the restroom. The Found out, and nobody heard a gunshot, but he was discovered by a maid that came into his room because he didn't check out. He was past checkout time, so they just came in because they're doing a sort of wellness check, and they found him on the floor of the bathroom, I believe. But I see a lot of people on social media say they don't believe the story. It don't really make a difference if it's true or not. He's dead. And this stuff happens all the time in Hollywood. And people gotta just go be like, are you willing to put the resources behind trying to find out what actually happened to old boy? Or you just gonna let it lie for where it lies? Let sleeping dogs lie. Because it's good that people question the official story, because usually the official story is the official lie. That's the cover up. But at the same time, I wasn't even aware of this cat until he was like expired. Nobody to somebody, to nobody till you dead. And like what Baba Dick Gregory would say, a lot of times people ain't gonna remember what you did in life, but how you died. That's how you get remembered. Like, people don't remember George Floyd. George Floyd, what about him is the fact the way he died that he's being remembered, not the way he lived, but the way he died. That's why people remember George Floyd. That's why people remember Emmett Till. And with Twitch, the Chico and the Man back in the day, Freddie Prince Jr. That's a Freddie Prince Jr. That's the cat name, the Puerto Rican guy. Was he Puerto Rican or something? The up and coming comic. Comics be some of the saddest people on the planet, right? They said Freddie Prince Jr. killed himself. Is his name Freddie Prince Jr.? I'm doing Chico and the Man. Let me see. Now that's his son. I mean, Freddie Prince Sr. Right? Freddie Prince Sr. He allegedly killed himself. Freddie Prince. Killed himself in 1977. How old was Freddie Prince? He was 22. How he killed himself? This is worth. Prince suffered from depression, which deepened in the weeks after his wife filed for divorce. On the night of January 28, 1977, after taking on the telephone with his estranged wife, Prince received a visit from his business manager, Marvin Dusty Snyder. While Snyder was visiting him, Prince put a gun to his head and shot himself. He had purchased this gun, in the presence of Jimmy J.J. Walker, Dynamite, and Alan Bursky. Although it was long rumored that Bursky gave him the gun, Prince was rushed to the UCLA Medical Center and placed on life support following emergency surgery. His family removed him from life support, and he died at 1 p.m. on January 29th. Prince had a history of playing Russian roulette to frighten his friends for his amusement, though he made farewell phone calls to numerous family members and friends on the night of his death and left a note stating that he had decided to take his life. In 1977, the death was ruled a suicide. However, in a 1983 civil case brought by his mother, wife, and son against Crown Life Insurance Company, the jury found that his death was medication-induced and accidental, which enabled the family to collect $200,000 in life insurance. This followed a $1 million out-of-court settlement with his psychiatrist and doctor to end their malpractice suit for allowing him access to a gun and over prescribing him Quaaludes. Quaaludes, is that the party drug? As a tranquilizer. Interesting. Now, it was interesting too that he shot himself in the presence of his business manager. That he had brought the gun in the presence of Dynamite, Jimmy Walker. I'm not laughing, but like now at his death. This is interesting. Okay, it said on October 13th, 1975, Prince married Catherine Elaine Cochran, with whom he had one child, son Freddie Prince Jr., who was born March 8th, 1976. Prince was arrested for driving under the influence of Quaaludes on November 16th, 1976. A few weeks later, his wife filed for divorce. Prince had been romantically linked to actresses Raquel Welch and Pam Grier. And he got around like Tupac, wow, whom he met in 1973. Grier recalls their relationship in chapter 19 of her memoir, My Life in Three Acts. After his breakup with Grier, Prince dated actress Lynette McKee for a time during 1976. Man, Prince got it in. Prince was very close friends with singer Tony Orlando. Orlando appeared on Chico and the Man, and Prince appeared on Orlando's variety show. As he started to make more money, Prince took martial arts lessons from Robert Wall, a student of Bruce Lee who appeared in Enter the Dragon and Return of the Dragon. Soon after, Wall became godfather to Prince's newborn son. Nobody dies a natural death in show business. So it'll be interesting to see if Twitch was under the influence of something then, some type of drug. I don't know. And who really knows? Because like the people at the hotel didn't hear a gunshot. They didn't hear anything. Because they heard something, they would have immediately responded. And it would be no need for the maid to do a wellness check on why he haven't checked out. Something could have happened to him. But at the same time, do you have the wherewithal, the resources, or even the interest to really go beyond what they told us as being a suicide? I really don't. And no disrespect to him. It's just like, if his family ain't gonna look into it, yeah, I know who he was married to, but what does that mean? Um, I mean, it's unfortunate. You just don't know who people are, man. He's smiling. He got the radiant smile. He's the life of the party. He's doing this and that. People love what he does, and he made a lot of people happy. But the person that mean the most, he couldn't make happy himself. He couldn't make his own self happy. Allegedly, I don't know what's true or not. But I'm sure y'all gonna be on here on social media doing what y'all do. And there's only so many battles I can fight. I don't know what happened to the bro. I know there's been people who have been hanged, like Sandra Bland. See, case in point, Sandra Bland. A lot of y'all felt that her mugshot, she was dead in the mugshot. It did give off a weird, like, death energy in that mugshot of Sandra Bland. Nobody never ever asked which brand of garbage bag she used to hang herself from, allegedly. There's a lot of things questions that should have been asked 7 years ago weren't asked. I can't believe it's been 7 years ago since Sandra Bland. I know people hanging in Mississippi from trees in white neighborhoods. They call it suicide. I don't know what to do. I don't really know. I don't know what to do about this. I mean, if the family say he killed himself, he killed himself. I don't know what to say. And people making good points online about, I don't know, this stuff ain't adding up, but I don't know. Said Chico and the Man came on out the San Francisco. Okay. It's about Bill Cosby. But Bill Cosby, he got that from his doctor. Just like I said, Freddie Prinze Jr. got the drug from his doctor. The Quaaludes was a prescription drug. Bill Cosby said he got the Quaaludes from his doctor as well. You can't hide a Quaalude. Quaalude too big to hide. You know, that was because even the so-called victims of Bill Cosby in that mockumentary that old boy came out with on, was it Showtime? They knew about it. They used it as a party drug. I mean, it was a choice. He didn't force it on them. It was a choice. There was a different time and culture back then. I'm not trying to make defense, but I'm just saying a lot of times we take stuff out of context. It's like even with the R. Kelly thing. If R. Kelly had went to New Jersey or Pennsylvania and stayed there and messed with them girls, the age of consent in Pennsylvania and New Jersey is 16. See, the age of consent is not even the same across the country. Now, in Tennessee, it's 18, but in other places, it's 17 and 16. And there's other exceptions to the so-called consent rule. But that is, it's a bunch of apples and oranges and stuff like that. But with old boy here, I don't know. You got to make deals. You do know that you make deals. Patrice O'Neal talks about this. He joked about it when he was talking about how you could become big time, but if they do a favor to make you big time, you owe them back. You owe them, whoever them be, and they'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Like they say, well, you owe us. We made you big time, so we want you to go to this dinner party. We want you to take out the person that you're gonna be sitting next to. We want you to put this in their drink or in their food to take them out. And you try to say, well, I don't want to do that. I refuse. Well, okay, you don't have to do it, but we'll kill your family. We'll take out your family. We'll kill your mama. We'll do whatever we got to do. You don't have to do this, but going to be consequences for you not doing it. So he could have been in them bind where, he seen some things and knows some things. Look, Ellen DeGeneres is interesting. Like she lost two intimate friends at one point. Anne Heche, right? Anne Heche was a lover of hers. What is that? Anne Heche, that's her name, Heche or Heche, whatever. The one who died in that weird car accident. We saw her popped up out the when she was going into the ambulance, she popped up and resurrected and went back down. The next thing you know, she dead. That weird. They said she wasn't under the influence of anything, but they had allegedly saw some drugs in her car, allegedly. But they said she wasn't under the influence of anything. But yes, she was driving out erratically and stuff like that. Who to say that she had control of her car? Who to say that her car was being controlled? Because all cars are just computers, man. Cars are just, they got computers in them. Who to say somebody didn't hijack her controls to a car and just drove it the way they wanted to drive it? Because they said she wasn't under the influence of any drugs, allegedly, from what I read last. I don't know. But she did that movie that came out or was coming out about with that child trafficking or whatever. I don't know. But what was he involved in, right? Was he part of that Disney machine? You look at how them child actors, and I'm not saying him, but people don't understand the things that people do. What did Beyonce say? You won't take my soul or some stuff? You won't take my soul? I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, but I just hope that the best thing I say about this is like Dick Gregory, just pray that the truth come out. Pray at noon for the truth to come out. Pray at noon for the truth to come out. And let me move on. Let me see. I'm gonna read this part. I think it's interesting. Despite reports, he revealed no gunshots were heard. This is the manager. When Twitch failed to check out at 11 a.m. the following day, the manager said he sent the maid to his room and she accessed entry with her key. He tells RadarOnline.com that the maid found the star's body in the bathroom. After informing the manager about the horrific scene, he dialed 911 to report a shooting. However, he was unable to tell us where Twitch's wounds were. So how can he say it was a shooting He didn't hear a sound. Then he couldn't tell what the wounds were. How did he know it was a gun that did those things? See, I mean, it's like that stuff right there. That's weird. You know, they didn't hear no gunshots, but it was a shooting. But I don't know where the wounds are. But it's a horrific scene. I mean, yeah, this is what Hollywood does, bro. They were doing this is the beginning of Hollywood. Like they'll make a murder look like a suicide, and then like that's old school Hollywood. That's old Hollywood for you because that what happened to Jean Harlow's husband. Y'all know who the great Jean Harlow was? I mean, she was like the platinum blonde from the 30s. She died real young, but she was married to a man who allegedly committed suicide because allegedly he was impotent and he had, I guess, erectile dysfunction and all this other stuff. He couldn't please her, so he left a note behind saying, "I gotta take my life because I can't please you." And he was lying naked in the home. But the thing about it was is that he had a wife. I don't know if he was still married to this woman, actress from back east. She came to see him around the same time he allegedly killed himself, and allegedly she killed herself because she was on a boat, some type of cruise boat or something in San Francisco in that area, and she jumped off the boat, and they found her body in the ocean or whatever, something like that. But look up Jean Harlow's husband. The people knew that he didn't kill himself, that he was murdered, but they covered it up because the first people on the scene was the studio people. They're trying to fix up the crime scene to make it look like he killed himself. But this was Jean Harlow's husband. And I think Sharon Tate at one point stayed in his home, and allegedly she saw a ghost in that house. I'm not mistaken, not the house she was killed in, but I think the house that she was staying in was the home where he got murdered in by his I don't know if they even got a divorce, his first wife, before he married Jean Harlow. I'm not sure, but look up that case. That's all I'm going to say. All this stuff is strange. So they said that it was a gunshot, but they didn't hear no gunshot. They didn't know where to find his wounds. It's a horrific scene. So what really happened to the brother? I don't know. So, I mean, the games they play, man.
Hey, everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that Django review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014. And so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace.